Hello and welcome back to the Academic Society. It's Toyin here and I'm on campus in the beautiful Founders Garden on my campus, and I thought this would be the best place to do today's video. So today I'm talking about how do you actually sit down and get your work done without being distracted, and how do you make the most out of that work time. So if you're interested in this topic, keep watching this video. I'm Toyin. I'm the founder of the Academic Society. I got my PhD in math and landed my dream job. I'm now a senior lecturer at a university, and I also create these videos about time management, productivity, as well as sharing my academic lifestyle. So I talk with grad students all the time about getting work done and how do they actually sit down and motivate themselves to be productive. And a big issue that I notice is they're not optimizing the times that they're spending doing their work, and they are being distracted. So if you find yourself being distracted while you're working or having trouble focusing on what you're working on, this video is for you. So the first thing that I want to talk about is productivity chunks. I think it's so important that when you're working, you actually have dedicated time for being productive in your schedule. So I'm going to share exactly what a productivity chunk is and how it looks. All right, so let's talk about productivity chunks. What is a productivity chunk? So for me, the way that I define a productivity chunk is a 2 to 5 hour block that you dedicate to being productive. And so I highly recommend scheduling a few productivity chunks in your schedule at the same time every single week, so that you can have a little bit of predictability and a little structure in your schedule. And the nice thing about productivity chunks is that they are very flexible. You choose each day or each week exactly what you want to work on in your productivity chunk. So it's not like I'm going to work on this specific class every Wednesday. It's I'm going to be productive during these time intervals every single week. And I love this because I know what tends to happen is once the semester gets going, maybe you become more deadline focused, where you only do work and you're only productive when there's a deadline or something that's due. And so you're working on the thing that's due. But what's really important in graduate school is to constantly be immersing yourself and engaging with the content, whether or not you have an assignment due, so that you can train yourself to be experiencing the material at a specific time every single week. So these are productivity chunks. And the next thing that we need to do when we have these productivity chunks is optimize the work that we're doing, optimize the time that we're spending on what we're working on, and I'm going to share exactly how to do that. So the first tip that I highly recommend during your productivity chunks is to use the Pomodoro technique, and I talk about this all the time. Basically, it's a time management productivity tool where you can do this on your own without a Pomodoro timer. But for grad school, I highly recommend working for either 30-minute or 45-minute intervals, and then take a 5-minute break, and then reset, refocus, and work for another 30 or 45 minutes. The key is to choose one task to work on and say, I'm going to do this one thing for the next 30 or 45 minutes. And after that time is up and you have that break, you choose the next thing to work on, or continue working on that thing until you finish in intervals. This way you have built-in breaks, and also it helps you really focus and narrow in on that one thing throughout your productivity chunk. Another way to optimize your productivity chunk is to co-work and actually work with someone else. Work with an accountability partner and actually say, all right, during this next session, I'm going to work on this one thing. What are you going to work on during this next 30 or 45 minute section? Then you silently work on your own. This can be in person or virtually on Zoom. I do this on Zoom all the time, especially with my group called Focus, and you work together, and it helps to keep you motivated, and maybe it helps you do more Pomodoros than maybe you would have planned to yourself. And then finally, really optimizing where, when, and how you work best. Personally, I'm a morning person, so that I know when I need to get work done, I'm going to do it in the morning versus in the afternoon or the evening when I always feel drained and I never want to do high-level thinking. So being able to plan your productivity chunks when you know you can be productive or you have the time to be productive is very important. Also, your location matters. Do you have a dedicated space in your home? Is it the kitchen table? Is it a desk in the corner of your bedroom? Do you have have to go to a library? How are you most able to be productive? And make sure that you can set those situations up for yourself when you actually want to sit down and focus and get your work done. Finally, the last thing, we want to make the most of this dedicated work time by reducing distractions. We don't want to be just super distracted while we're working and having like interruptions, and having all these interruptions can like decrease your productivity levels. So I'm excited to share this with you. All right, so here's the big thing, distractions. I know it's so easy to be distracted and lose motivation to get your work done, or just feel blocked from getting your work done. So I have a few tips for minimizing distractions. One is email. I do not have email notifications on my phone. I do not constantly check my email throughout the day. I highly recommend checking your email 3 times a day. I check my email after I've written my to-do list in the morning, and then I go check my email, make sure I haven't missed anything, and I respond, spend about 15 minutes during that before I get to work. And then I'll check again during lunch, and then once more before the end of my work day. And that's really all I need. Nothing is ever so urgent that I have to just be responding immediately. I also don't really let my students know that I see their messages immediately. I will respond, but set the I don't send it immediately. I'll set a little, what is it called, a due date or a send date. I like change the time so that it sends later on, especially if I'm working on the weekend or something. I don't want them to get used to me working during a time that's not my scheduled work time. Boundaries. Also, turn off your phone notifications. I do this when I'm teaching, but it's really important. If you find yourself getting notifications on your phone a lot, you can turn your notifications off or put your phone on do not disturb when you're doing your productivity chunks. That will help you a lot, especially if you find yourself checking your phone over and over again. I always like put my phone face down on my desk so I don't even see it light up. And then finally, if you live with people who may be a little bit distracting, it may be worth it to have a conversation with them and say, all right, during these times, I'm doing my productivity chunk, so I would love it if I am not disturbed during those times. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm loving this video style and my background today. Let me know in the comments if you are also loving this as well. If you like this video style, I'll keep doing it. If not, we'll try something new. So if you do find yourself wanting to be more productive, but you need a little bit more accountability in your life, I welcome you to join my program, Focus, for graduate students. It is a wonderful community of other graduate students who are working together, doing these co-working sessions together, setting goals together, and having monthly planning sessions together. So if you're interested, I'll put a link in the description for this video on how to join that program. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I create new videos every other Sunday. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Bye.